Hello everyone, I'm Kathy Lee from Kathy's Creative Place, and I have some projects to share with you. Actually, I made a few of the cards from the lovely Lost in Paradise collection that Tammy sent me as my DT package from Country Craft Creations. And so I used the 8x8 pad, the patterns and solids, and I also used some of the stickers, um, and I did a lot of fussy cutting from the papers. So rather than doing a tutorial, I'm going to do a walkthrough, and I'm going to share with you the measurements and the papers that I use so that you, if you'd like to make these, you certainly can. So I'm going to move in here just a little because okay, so for my first card, um, I have a standard A4 card, and it's 5.5 by 4.25. And I used artisan cardstock for this, so you cut 8.5 by 5.5, and then score at 4.25. It's a top holding card. So the front here, I used some of the yellow solid and then some of the pattern paper. This is, let's see, this one here, which has the big bird and the green on it. And then some of the orange solid. And then this is a cut apart from the collection. And that's this piece here, that one there. Paradise is not a place, it's a state of mind. And I just cut that out. And I inked all my edges with brush corduroy. And then I have a couple of stamps here, which I believe also are part of. Let me take a look at it. Yes, I cut these out and then matted them on the yellow cardstock. And I'm looking for those stamps now. I think it's on one of the, oh, it's on this page. So this piece is what I cut out. And then also I did some fussy cutting, and this is part of this paper here. So I fussy cut around these little flamingos. And then for my flowers, I used some of the patterns and solids as well, with some little tiny brown pearls in the middle, and those are the Graphic 45 flowers. It's this set. So I just use these and the small ones to make my flowers, and then I use this little leaf die for the leaves. So that's the front of the card. And then on the inside, again, I used that flamingo pattern paper, and then I used this tag die, my tag die here, for my sentiment. And I just, after I die cut that out, I just took some orange solid paper and I just cut around it for kind of a matted look. And then I used some of the green seam binding I got with my package. The sentiment is actually one of excuse me, one of the little borders from the cut apart page, if I can find it in here. Oh, here it is. And it's this bottom piece. It says, "Live in the sunshine, swim the sea, drink the wild air," by Emerson. And I just cut it in 3 parts to use it as a sentiment. And that's the first card. For the second card, there's a lot of fussy cutting and elements going on in this one. This is probably one of my favorites that I made. So basically I used a couple things. This is some of the pattern paper, and it's the beautiful Birds of Paradise paper. And then I also used a Sizzix die. It's this one for my for my frame in the background, and that's matted on some black cardstock. This is also black artisan cardstock, and this is from the Yellow Solids. And then this bird is part of the paper collection, and I just fussy cut him. It's from this one. Him, actually both of them, because it's kind of a pair. So I was thinking this is kind of looks like two friends sharing a branch. So and then I also fussy cut some of the um, butterflies from the pattern papers. And then I used, again, the leaf dies, this leaf die for my large leaves, and you can kind of see how I've kind of distressed them a little bit. And then for the flowers, I used these cute little petunias from Heartfelt Creations, and then I did some layering, cut those out, and I used some Hero Arts pretty orange, or excuse me, strawberry. It's strawberry ink, and did a little bit of inking around the edges of my flowers after I stamped them. And then I just molded them with my molding tools with a stylus. And the paper that I used is actually yellow, even though it doesn't look yellow. That strawberry ink really made it look more of like an orangey yellow flower. And I just did a couple of layering and a couple singles, and used some Doodlebug flatback pearls for my flowers. And then under the birds, this is actually popped up on some chipboard, so it has some dimension, as you can see here. Okay, and then for the inside, pretty simple. Again, I used some of the Patterns and Solids paper, and then those frames, the Sizzix frames again, and then this is actually a Hero Arts stamp that I have in my stash, and it says good friends are the best, and I thought that went really well with the theme of my card. This is also a 6x6 card, and I used an 1/8 inch border around the edges for with my pattern papers. So that's that one. And then the last one is actually an easel card. So this one, I used several different pattern papers. This one is from the page of the cut aparts, if I can locate it here. I'm just kind of flipping through to find it. Oh, I think it's in the back. Oh, no. Yeah, okay, so it's this cut apart page, and I use that as my base. This is, again, is a 6x6 card, and the cardstock is ivory, and ivory artisan, and then the other paper pieces, I just used a 16-inch border as my mat for my pieces. So the orange paper is also Pattern Solids, as well as the blue from this collection. And then this is actually a journaling card. And I just, again, matted it on some of the ivory cardstock, and both these elements are popped up on chipboard. So for this, for the orange pattern paper, it is 5x5 for the cardstock, so it would be 4 and, well, let me make sure that's true. Nope, it's 5 1/8 for the cardstock, and 5x5 for the pattern paper. And then this piece here is 5 inches by 4 inches, and again, this would be 4 7/8 by 3 7/8 for your blue pattern paper. and then this is just 16th inch behind the journaling card. These are also flowers from the Graphic 45 collection, so I used several different ones. Most of the large ones, and then I just did some layering and molding with my tool. I also cut out a couple of the butterflies from the pattern papers, and then these leaves are this die. I want to make sure you can see it without getting the glare. And then for the inside, it's an easel card, so it's kind of hard to see an easel card on camera. So this is how it stands up. This is the inside, and for the inside, I use this really pretty paper. It actually looks exactly like the one on the back of the book. And then this is also Patterns in Solids, and it measures 4 5/8 by 4 5/8, and this is just a 16th inch border, so this is actually 4.5 by 4.5. And then this is a wooden piece that I picked up, I think, at Michael's, and then I just used some gesso. I use Liquitex gesso to cover the wood because it's dark brown when I received it. And then I also used some Hero Arts ink and inked over top to kind of match the color of the turquoise blue. And then I also went over the top of it a little bit in places with my brush corduroy distress ink, so it kind of looks a little bit distressed. And then again, I have another layered flower here from the Graphic 45 flowers. This is the tiniest one with a couple of gold flat back pearls. This is a piece from the cut apart page, and that is this one right here. I just cut it out. Matted it on some of the ivory cardstock, and then I also cut out this cute little hummingbird from one of the patterns as well. And then I have again the little leaves here, and that just sits up like that. It's so pretty. I love the blues in this paper, so I really wanted to make something a little bit more blue rather than the green, yellow, and orange. Okay, so those are my Graphic 45 Lost in Paradise cards that I made from my DT package. Thanks for stopping by and letting me share these with you. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments, and I will be sure to get back to you. Have a good day.